So I had a pretty choppy trading week this past week. Had a couple of good trades, but also a few bad trades. Definitely overtraded on my part, and I ended up paying the price for it. I managed to end up the week with a $34 gain, which is better than nothing, but it definitely should have been a lot higher, as you guys will see. I made a lot of mistakes throughout the week, and some of my timing on these trades was pretty unfortunate, as you guys are going to see in a bit. So I'll start off by explaining the trades where I did really good on, and the first trade was Disney. Disney has been going up a lot since last week. It went up almost $20 last week, and what I ended up doing on Disney was buying 100 shares of Disney at an average price of $153.49. And the reason why I bought it was because if we go ahead and look at the 1 year chart, we can see that before the pandemic it was trading right around the 140, 150 area, and then this past week it was barely starting to almost break even into that pre-pandemic area, which was around the 140, 150 area. So that's what made me realize that maybe, it has a lot more momentum to keep on going upwards. So like I said, I ended up buying 100 shares at an average price of $153.49. I turned around and sold the 155 call, and we received a premium of $238. And Disney did end up finishing Friday at a price considerably higher than 155, so we got to keep the premium, and also we had to sell the shares, and we sold the shares for a profit. So overall, this trade was around a mid 400 to 450s gain. You can do the math. Let's see, 238 plus about 150, so that comes out to about $400 gain on this one. And unfortunately, we did miss out on tremendous profit because, like I said, we sold it at 155. But as you guys can see, Disney went up all the way up to almost 180. I think it went up as high as like 176, if I remember correctly. 52-week high, 179.45. So we definitely missed out on a lot of profit. But, I'm not going to complain. I still made a $400 gain on this trade. So the next trade that was a really good trade was on Smile Direct Club. And what I ended up doing on this was similarly the same strategy as I did on Disney. I bought 100 shares of it. I don't remember the price. Let's see. I think I bought it at I bought 400 shares at an average price of $10.95, and we turned around and sold the $11 strike call. And we sold it for, let's see, I think it was like 28. Yeah, we sold it for $28, and the shares got called away, so we got to keep the premium of $116. And we also gained a little bit more because we sold the shares for a profit at 11. I think it was in total this was around a $130 gain. So these two gains, I would have been up close to a little bit over $500 for the week, and it would have been a great week. We would have been able to gain that 1% of that 1% goal a week. But unfortunately, I decided to keep on taking trades, and that's where I ended up losing. And I'll show you guys right now the losing trades. So the first of the 3 losing trades was on Tesla. I actually took 2 losses on Tesla. Just unfortunate timing because the positions would have made a really good profit had I not sold. So the first trade I ended up taking on Tesla was actually a put trade. I ended up buying let's see, I don't remember the exact strike, but I know I bought a put. We ended up buying the $620 strike put at an average price of $14.65, and so this was a day trade. The position Tesla started going up. It didn't go up by a lot, but because the IV on Tesla is so high, the options tend to lose value a lot faster, and so I wasn't really happy with how the position was moving. I ended up cutting losses at an average loss of $12.95. So this was, I think, if the math comes out right, about $180 loss. And the unfortunate thing about it is if we would have held one more day, you can see that Tesla had a big dip on this last week. It was trading right around the 630 area, and it dropped all the way to 575, I believe, at one point. You can't really see it here because the Robinhood charts are terrible, but I do remember. Here we go. You can see it opened at 574.37, so it dropped down significantly. And so had we kept those options for one more day, our profit on them would have been insane, because Tesla dropped from a high of around 630, 640 all the way down to 575. So had we held one more day, this would have been a really good trade. The next trade that I ended up taking on Tesla was a put credit spread, and this was a day after it recovered. I thought maybe it's not going to fall below 600 again. Let me try to make a trade out of this. So what I ended up doing was buying a put credit spread. I sold the $600 call, and we bought the $595 call, and we received a total premium of $95. And so what that meant was that if by the end of the week Tesla ended above $600, we would get to keep the $95 premium. Unfortunately, like I said, Tesla ended up dropping all the way to 575 that day, and I did not want to take risk. I would have rather take a $150 loss than lose the $400 collateral that was held onto the position. So I ended up cutting losses on that trade, and let me see. We lost, like I said, about $150 on that trade, if I do remember. And this is the trade you see on December 14th. That's a different trade that I took today. I'm not going to explain it in this video, but like I said, we ended up losing about $140, $150 on this trade. As you guys can see, if we go back on the weekly chart, Tesla did in fact end above 600. It ended up at like 608, 609. And so had we held all the way till expiration on Friday, we would have gotten to keep the full premium. But remember, there's no guarantee that Tesla would have ended above 600. It could have just easily dropped back to 575, and we would have been out $400 instead of a $150 loss that we took. So the last trade we took was on Ford, and what I ended up doing on this trade was buying some out of the money calls that were expiring in about a month, a little bit over a month actually. I ended up buying the $9.50 strike call expiring January 22nd of next year. So we had a little bit of time going into the trade, but unfortunately the position was just not going in my favor, and because Ford is such a slow mover, I would much rather just take the loss and move on to a different trade, just because like I said, Ford is such a slow mover, so the theta is going to eat into the potential profit. And so overall, it's just a recipe for disaster. And to be honest, I probably shouldn't have taken the trade, but because I had already taken those two losses, I really wanted to end off the week with a gain, and hopefully get a little bit more money. But unfortunately, like I said, I was just not thinking straight. I was over trading, and that's why I ended up taking the trade. On this trade, we lost about $150, I believe, again. So what we ended up doing was buying the $9.5 strike. We bought 20 contracts at an average price of $41. Unfortunately, we bought it when Ford was right around the $9.20, $9.25, and we bought this on Thursday. And so Friday it opened and it dropped all the way down to about $9.10, and then it sort of just stayed between that $9.10, $9.15, all the way down to $9.05. I believe it got as low on Friday, and so just staying in that range, not really wanting to either go up or go down. And so all that was happening was losing theta and premium. And so at that moment, I had an option. The option was either to hold on, hope that in the coming weeks it could go higher and we could potentially break even or make a profit, or just cut losses and move on and use that money on a different trade. I decided to cut losses because I was still up on the week about $35, and so ending the week off in the green rather than having another huge loss that could potentially take my week into the red. So that's what I ended up doing. We took out, we closed out the position for about $150 loss, and that's where we're off today. We ended up the week with a $35 gain, which is still better than nothing. But fortunately, today, this week, starting on December 14th, we're off to a pretty good start on the week, up to 35. Took two trades today. We currently have another trade going on. XLF 28.5 calls at 0.24, so we're down around $4 on this call, but nothing too big. I think this total position is about $96, so nothing too big. But those 2 trades that I took today, I will explain in my next video. But that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, pretty choppy week last week, but we're off to a great start this week. I already crossed over 11,000 for the first time, and so hopefully we can stay above 11,000 by the end of this week. We're closing in on our goal of ending the year off at least over 11,500, which a couple of weeks ago I thought I was not going to be able to make it, but we got 3 weeks left of the year and we're only down about 250 from that goal. So I definitely think it's possible. But that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.